Welcome to Wealthy Mind, where we talk about all things finances, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the surprising.
Hello and welcome to Wealthy Mind. I am your host, Misty Rose Gold, International Success Coach. And here at Wealthy Mind, we love to help you create and maintain a wealthy mind. And today I have with me Stacy. Stacy is a career ownership coach. So we're going to talk about transitioning from corporate to your own thing or corporate to something. We're just going to talk about that transitional period. So that's who Stacy loves to work with, or people who are transitioning out of corporate or around corporate, that type of situation. So, Stacy, would you please give us your full name?
Yes, so my last name is tough. Stacy Heisey-Terrell. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here with you, Misty. Thank you.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, and we can talk up a storm, so we're going to make sure that we keep it short and sweet for the audience.
Yes.
Wonderful. So, how did you get into career ownership coaching?
Well, my background is in human resources. So I worked in HR for decades, with different corporate companies. I worked at a small consulting firm. I worked in my local government, even did some consulting, and really found that I was coaching people, employees, leaders. I've been
Mhm.
coaching people my entire career. I came to a place where the thought of going back into a corporate environment was really scary, very harrowing for
Mhm.
me. I hadn't had a great experience and was looking for, what else could I do? Could I make a living doing something else? Could I have a little more flexibility in my schedule? What does that look like? And kind of happened to fall into a relationship with a career ownership coach, um and really through him and working with him and the exercises that he gave me, just was much more open to, oh, there is life outside of corporate. There's a lot of different ways to get to our goals, right? Like,
Mhm.
people tell us there's only one way, but that's not true. Um, so I've enjoyed my own coaching practice here now for 2.5 years. So it's been great.
You've been coaching for a very long time, but you're like, I'm gonna go make this my own business since I've been doing this forever. So,
Yes. Well, and I felt like I'd spent the first part of my career really coaching from the inside,
Mhm.
from the organization, from the company's, corporation's point of view, and had done lots of laying off of people and reorganizing
Mhm.
of departments, and again from the corporate side, and now I have to say it's much more rewarding working on the individual side, right? And helping people find careers that really match up with their goals
Mm.
rather than trying to get employees to conform to match the corporate entity or the corporate goals.
hmm And now that you're not in the corporate sector anymore, you can see the big picture.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that, right? There isn't just one channel for success, right? That there's,
Mhm.
um, that people make their way in a lot of really interesting configurations, right? And I think a lot of times we get stuck
Hmm.
early in our career on a track and fed a lot of this is what success looks like.
Hmm.
And often we don't take the time to think about, well, how do I define success? Or what if
Mm.
success looked different in my early 20s or 30s than it does in my 40s and 50s? Like, what if things change? How do I make a pivot? How does my career evolve with me or my changing family and my changing life? And
Hmm.
so I work a lot with clients on kind of currently this stage in your life. What are those big goals?
Hmm.
What's out there on the horizon? Where are we aiming? And then does your career help you get to those goals, or is it really kind of pointed in a different direction? And we need to make some realignments
Hmm.
and discover kind of some different options to help get to those goals.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of mental, like mindset work. We're not going to call it mental. Hey, mindset work that you have to go through
Yeah.
when you're making a huge life transition. There's a lot of mindset around that, and I appreciate it. I appreciate the battles internally that people have to go through and deal with and overcome and end
Hmm.
up figuring out how do I thrive with all of these changes and how do I think differently?
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
if you try to take a corporate mindset into, let's say, being a solo entrepreneur, it doesn't work.
Right. 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 I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what I need to do or what my KPIs are, right? Like I haven't gotten the memo yet.
You're right. Yeah.
It's really different.
Hmm.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Trifun, we need to edit. Thank you. Okay. So go ahead. When you're ready.
Wow.
Don't
Oh my
rush it.
gosh.
Trifun will edit all this. You're good.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
All right.
I can do it.
You can do this. So
Yeah.
I'll get us back in the flow.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're back on. Yeah, it's really important for us to figure out where our thoughts have been, where our mindset has been, and
Yeah.
what thoughts do we need to adopt, and how does our mindset need to shift in order to transition away from corporate successfully? You're okay.
Woo. Sorry about this.
It's
I've
okay.
had this cold I cannot shake.
You're good.
So the mind shift from corporate to doing something different.
Mm,
What I see in my clients is when we spend some time on their goals and the
hmm.
why make a change? Why would we do what we do? Um, that then that the mind shift comes with that, right? That why and tapping into the passion behind the why really drives forward the change.
Mm. I like that you mentioned that. It's like we need to figure out where we're going.
Hmm.
If we're
Hmm.
not, we're just
Hmm.
wandering around aimlessly and we're lost. And that's a very dangerous place for any of us to be. So I think it's great that you bring in that deeper aspect of, well, why are we
Hmm.
doing this?
Hmm.
What is your
Hmm.
purpose behind it? What's the why? and
Hmm.
it gives us a bullseye to aim for, which then
Hmm.
makes it easier to make decisions and figure out what the next steps are and, go from there. So, I,
Absolutely. Well, and easier to also explain to the people that we love and get them on board because people will be worried. They don't want to see us change. What if you make a mistake? And they throw up roadblocks. And if we're connected to our why, then we're able to explain that. People catch that vision too, and will be turned into supporters.
hmm definitely. So I just want to say to the audience that Stacy's a trooper. She has a little bit of a cold, so if her voice is a little bit shaky at times, you guys, thank you for forgiving her.
Thank you. Sorry.
It's okay. We're not perfect, right? But
Right?
we showed up. We're here. We're having the conversation, and I think
Hmm.
that's what's
Hmm.
important. So
Yes, absolutely.
we are
Good.
giving you permission to have a shaky voice.
To
And
have a little cough tickle and a
yeah,
cough drop in my mouth. Thank you.
definitely. So I appreciate you showing up and wanting to do the
Mm,
episode. And, it means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to the
mhm,
audience. And
mhm.
I think that is the message that everybody can hear and listen to from my
Right.
audience, your clients, my clients, and all
Mhm,
the other people out there is that just showing up is a huge part of
mhm,
anything,
mhm, mhm.
no matter what it is. If it's leaving corporate, just showing up for yourself and figuring out what that looks like. Or if you're already a business owner, just show up and see what happens. Like, there's so many great stories that I can tell people from just showing up and doing it consistently. Like my
Right.
podcast, amazing
Mhm,
opportunities have come from my podcasts because I just show up. I don't know where they're coming from. I can't predict that. There's no way that my brain could conceptualize where these opportunities would pop up and what opportunities they would be. But I can say that, something like my podcast, being consistent with it, no matter where
mhm,
I'm at in life, no matter what I'm doing, even
mhm.
me, like I tried to die in June and I was still consistent with my podcast and my business.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So that consistency brings those opportunities. So just do it, just show up like you did today. You're struggling with a cold and you showed up. Like, awesome, this
Yeah.
is great. We're not sacrificing ourselves to the detriment of our health or our families.
Mhm,
That's not what
mhm,
I'm saying.
mhm.
I'm
No.
saying that we need to just take that step, show up for ourselves or show up for the business or show up for the podcast, and
Mhm, mhm.
amazing things are going to happen as long as it's not to your detriment in a major way. Just do
Right.
it. So I'm grateful.
When
I'm grateful for
I
that practice in my life, and I'm
thank
grateful for that
you. Thank
practice
you.
in your life.
Yeah. Yes. Well, and I'm always kind of surprised by when we take even just a little bit of time for ourselves, turn that strategic energy that we spend a lot on our teams and our families, we expend a lot of that energy. When we turn that in on ourselves, even just for an hour or two, like it is pretty amazing what we can come up with.
Hmm
So, I, I talk to people all the time that they're like, oh, I haven't really been through this process since I was a teenager or I was in
hmm
school or in my 20s, right? Like, I don't have time to do an exercise, if self-reflection exercise. I'm like, it's 30 minutes, you do have time. Like, you do have time, right? Let these questions roll around in your head while you're commuting. And then it's like, oh my gosh, I had this great brainstorm, like lightning struck. And it's like, well, yeah, we just, gave it a little space, a little attention.
hmm
And it is amazing kind of what connects with people, or we think that, oh, I've got to meditate on the mountaintop for days and days. I'm like, no, I need you to do like 30 minutes of homework and talk to me for an hour. And like, that could be life blowing, like mind blowing,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Like life changing.
Hmm.
Um,
It's so
so it
true.
is, yeah, kind of
So
fun.
true. Uh, with my people, right? Business owners are a lot of them on the verge of burnout, which I don't subscribe
Hmm.
to.
Hmm.
And I tell them, I'm like, just take 20 minutes of you time every single day, and it's going to
Right,
change your business. It'll change your life. Like just 20 minutes alone of stepping
right.
away, go outside, go to the spa, go do something. So I have a spa where they have services that are like a massage chair or like a hydration
Hmm.
capsule or red light therapy or something that doesn't
Like
require
just
a
in little
person.
chunks.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
doesn't require a person, but I can go and I can do a 15, 20-minute treatment and I'm out. But it's miraculous what happens in that time frame.
Hmm.
I get some
Yeah,
of my best ideas when I'm in
right.
my spa services or on the weekends when I'm out like hiking or something. I get my best
Hmm.
ideas come not, and I've learned this, so I don't really think on things. If the ideas start flowing through me, I follow that train of thought, yes, but I don't try to force it. They
Hmm.
always show
Hmm.
up. It always shows up during self-care. Always.
Hmm. That's interesting. That's interesting. Well, I think too, like yeah, I see that with the folks that I work with myself too. Like when we stretch our minds maybe in new areas. So I might be talking about business ownership with someone whose entire career has been in corporate, right? And so they've never let their mind kind of wander through business ownership pastures. And they will have lightning, like these brainstorms of like, oh my gosh, you know what I could do? I could talk to this guy. I should do this thing, contact this person. I just learned this completely new and unexpected thing. And I'm like, all right, we've we've kind of given your brain a little bit of a break in a
Yeah.
new environment. It's kind of fun to learn, but then that lets the other stuff fire off as needed.
Hmm.
Sometimes we just need a, yeah, change of environment, change of thought, um, and magic starts happening, right?
Hmm. Definitely. I have an example that fits this story. A client of mine, he was on the verge of burnout every single day, and I said, listen,
Mm.
I want you to leave your office and go somewhere else for lunch and sit in front of a tree or a potty, like a pond or something.
Hmm. Hmm.
Even if you're in your car staring at a tree, I don't care. Just go do that for lunch every single day.
Uh-huh.
And it changed his whole world. It changed the climate of his
Right.
business, everything. I'm like, just the change of scenery.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like our poor little brains are like, please just take me out to play a little bit, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then I created a monster. I didn't know this. Like, I didn't know I was going to create a monster, but he was like sending me pictures from a remote place where he was able to use some device to get internet and he was
Uh,
working in the middle of the
that's
mountains.
cool.
I'm like,
Okay.
cool.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really fun.
Mhm.
Um, well,
I
I think I
love,
read somewhere too, like even just looking at pictures of water or moving water, like even
mhm,
if you're still at your desk, at your computer, like it changes your brain. So I think having
mhm,
those little environment changes, those ways to disrupt the normal thought patterns,
mhm,
it does give us new energy, uh, and new passion for things.
definitely. And
Mhm.
I love how society is shifting to where we are taking better care of ourselves.
Yeah, yeah,
It's really
yeah.
important to me. So tell me about other transitions that happen with your clients.
Yeah, yeah, we were talking a little bit about this earlier that for some there is you know some people are getting caught up in downsizing or reorgs that are really disruptive transitions or transitions they weren't expecting.
Mm,
And, how do you take one of those bumps in the road and maybe use it for your advantage? Is it time to pivot, to look for something else? But we were talking earlier about sometimes other life transitions or life bumps that happen um, can be a time to re-examine your career. And is
mm,
that aligned with your goals? So I've had clients who have recently been through a divorce or been married, um, people with I had a dad whose kids just left the house and he was like, okay. Like why am I working this corporate job when all the kids are grown? Like I don't need this big salary anymore. I'd
mm,
like to trade some of the income for a little more lifestyle. How do I do that? How do I assess that? What will
mm,
people think of me if I trade things in? But he was at a very transition season, right? Where it's like I had been the provider and had certain needs that he was meeting for his children, and then I was like, oh, I don't have that same pressure. What am I going to do with my life? And it was kind of fun to think about, well, what kind of environments do you thrive in? What are those big goals? Do you accomplish that with your current job or another job in a similar industry, similar job title? Or is it time to think about taking those skills and putting them to use in a totally different way? What would that look like? So for a lot of the people that I work with, this is their first opportunity to explore business ownership and what that might do for them. So we try to do that in a really non-scary, educational way. But it is fun to watch people go through those when they're open to exploration and discovery, to
mm,
let those thoughts hit. And sometimes that takes you in a really different path that you didn't even know existed before before you started discovery, let alone would have, never chosen to do that.
mm,
Um,
Yeah,
so that can be really fun.
I can imagine how they find new fulfillment or fulfillment for the first time, but maybe new fulfillment. Maybe
Yeah.
their corporate career was fulfilling and
Hmm.
life has changed so much that it's not necessary anymore. So what
Yeah.
is the new thing that's going to fulfill them, right? So
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
I know that you have a very, very, very enjoyable business because it is adjacent to mine and it's so amazing to watch our clients like have those aha moments and to
Yeah.
find that greater fulfillment or that greater success in life, whatever that
Hmm.
looks like for them, right?
Hmm.
They're
Hmm.
the ones who get to define that. And I think the freedom of being able to
Hmm.
define that, regardless of where you're coming
Hmm.
from or where you're going, is such an amazing power to have and such a
Yeah.
privilege to have, right? So not
Yeah.
everybody in every country has that privilege to be
Right.
able to define their life down to the smallest degree. And
Hmm.
I love the freedom that I have. I love the freedom that you're
Hmm.
presenting to your clients because at the end of the day, that's what we stand for as a country is freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I've been watching the new Ken Burns documentary on the American Revolution, and I was struck with, they talk about like these different battles, how many people died, and
mm,
the blood and the guts and the gore and just they didn't have food and the medical care and all these awful things. I'm like, oh my gosh, these folks were willing to, you know, winter at Valley Forge, for freedom for their country, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's like pulling teeth to find an hour or two to think about your own personal freedom, right? Your empowerment in your career. I'm like, oop, we've got things a little upside down, right? So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not asking you to grab your musket, right? Like we got to do a couple exercises and do some self-reflection. And really, I love that idea of like really taking advantage of, we could do anything. So what is it that, we are empowered to do, or feel more empowered as we know there are lots of options and lots of
Mhm.
different paths that get you to the same destination.
Mhm.
Um, Enjoying that freedom of like, well, I can choose to do this or I can choose to do something else, right? Um,
Yes,
Nobody's
and
dictating one success.
that's true. And with freedom comes a tremendous amount of responsibility.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It does. And a lot of
Yeah.
people, I think a lot of people shy away from giving themselves permission to seek their own personal freedom because it comes with a tremendous amount of responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I do have quite a few clients, and I find this really interesting, come to me because they feel like they want to make a greater impact
Mm,
on their communities or even in their families
mm,
and are looking for ways to make that impact. And sometimes that can be really challenging in a
hmm.
corporate environment where you don't have a lot of control over
Right.
who's on your team, or do you still have the team, or was the team reorganized, and now
Mm,
belongs to somebody else. So thinking about legacy and impact is can be super compelling
hmm.
reasons to make some changes too, and to think about
Hmm.
what is your lasting, what are those ripples that you're sending out through the world, and how do you make those bigger and even more positive?
In some ways, that comes with greater responsibility
Hmm.
because that's my story, right? I embraced my purpose in this world to, hey, let's make a positive impact in the world. Let's change the world for the
Yeah.
better. I embraced that at 8 years old. So um, that helped me navigate a lot of challenges in life and, dig myself out of a very abusive and toxic family. But at the same time, I understand that when you go after something that is a legacy, that is intentional with purpose, and you want to make a greater impact on the people around you, not just yourself and your family, that comes with a much greater responsibility, but it also comes with the sense of it doesn't feel like work most of the time,
Right.
which is
Right.
amazing and wonderful.
Because you're on a mission,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You've got that mission compelling you. Yeah, that is super exciting. And when that matches up with your goals and your authentic
Hmm.
self, and you can kind of be you
Hmm.
and even more freer version of you.
Hmm.
Um, I see that too. Like I feel like who I am in my coaching practice, it maybe some of my friends that I worked with in my corporate days wouldn't even recognize me
Hmm.
because I feel like I'm just much more myself. And and that feels good. That feels not hard, but also compelling, right?
Hmm. Yes, I love it.
Mm.
So I had a conversation with a potential client recently about her making that transition into business ownership.
Hmm.
And I told her, I said, you're going to discover a part of yourself that you didn't even know existed.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And you're going to love
Yeah.
it. You're going to find your identity as a business owner.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's so amazing. And she was like, I can't wait. I'm like, you go, girl.
Right. It's so fun. Well, and I think too, I was just talking to somebody about this as well. Like the new people that you meet, the new types of people can
Mhm.
be really, really different in a business community than in a corporate setting. And
Mhm.
sometimes uh, that is really compelling as well. Finding your tribe or finding your
Mhm.
communities and finding those connections that you're like, I didn't even know you guys were here. Let alone that I'd fit right in with you.
Yeah,
That is, I think again, when we're open to discovery, when we're open to learning new things, unlocking those pieces of ourselves, we stumble into new and really enjoyable things.
definitely. So this has been a very fun conversation, and it's always great when two coaches come together because we can talk for days. So
Right?
I'm sure that our audience has enjoyed this conversation. It's, been insightful, but also giving people permission in ways that maybe they aren't giving themselves permission. So that's kind of the message that I've been
Yeah.
hearing the whole time is
Mhm.
what are the limitations? Remove them. Give yourself permission. Yes, it comes with different
Mhm.
responsibilities, but at the end of the day, we should think about what is going to fulfill us.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, we are on this earth for a limited amount of time, and it's my philosophy to enjoy it as much as I can. So
Yes.
I want to give everyone listening permission to enjoy life as much as you can, not at the
Yeah.
detriment of others. I have to just throw that caveat out there, a little asterisk sign, not at the detriment of others, right? But it's really focusing on what is going to fulfill us for the next stage of our
Yeah.
lives. And then give yourself permission to do it. And if you need help giving yourself permission to do it, you need to reach out to Stacy.
Yes, sometimes a coach is a good challenger, but also cheerleader and supporter through the process. Yeah.
A good coach is going to challenge you, is going to cheerlead you, is going to be your most trusted advisor next to your financial advisor. So, yes. Now, if they want to reach out to you, if the audience wants to reach out to
hmm
you, Miss Stacy, how can they do that? What's your website?
Yes, my website's very easy. It's mylifemybiz, biz.com. So mylifemybiz.com. And that takes you right in. You can hop on my calendar, you can fill out a connection card, and I'll reach out to you. But it's a great way to, if you're feeling some of that tug of, oh, maybe it might be time to think
Mhm.
about, am I in alignment with my goals and my career? I encourage you to mylifemybiz.com and have a short conversation with me to see if I could be of help.
I love your website name. My life, my biz. That is freaking amazing. Awesome.
It's
Well,
on a couple different levels, right?
yeah, yeah. Pretty
Mhm.
incredible. So thank you, Stacy, for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank
Mm,
you.
you're welcome. All right, you guys, if you love Stacy, if you love her message, please reach out to her. Set up a time to chat with her and get to know her just a little bit and see if she is the right fit for you to help you navigate this next phase of your journey, especially if you're leaving corporate and jumping into something else. To do it alone, I think, is the dumbest thing you can do. And it doesn't mean that you have to work with Stacy or myself or someone else, but please, please, please don't take that leap by yourself. It is where a lot of people get stuck, and I have had so many horror stories come my way from somebody that left corporate, bought a business, destroyed the business. So please, please, please get yourself an advisor, a coach, somebody that can guide you through that process and make it a successful journey for you. So anyway, you guys, you are a lovely audience. I love you so much. And Have a wonderful, wonderful 26. It is coming up very soon, so I want to set the tone for that. This is a new year, new energy, new opportunities, and new freedom coming our way. All right, you guys, until next time, we will see you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Mind podcast. Please be sure to download the Wealthy Mind app today and make sure to support your local Dress for Success.